I know a guy, a token human spin-off. The Crixian freighter Zurich glided silently through the vast emptiness of space, its angular hull catching faint glimmers of distant stars. Captain Vrex, a tall and formidable Crixian with deep crimson scales and a crown of sharp horns, leaned back in his command chair, his multi-jointed arms crossed over his chest as he surveyed the main display, where a dense asteroid field loomed ahead. "Captain, we've encountered an unexpected delay," said First Officer Lyra, her lilac eyes glinting with frustration. "Our navigation systems are having trouble calculating a safe path through the asteroid field. We might need to reroute." Rex's nostrils flared in annoyance, exhaling a puff of hot breath. "Rerouting will add days to our journey. The cargo is already overdue. What are the alternatives?" Lyra hesitated before speaking. "There is one option. The humans have a reputation for handling complex manual piloting situations. Their reflexes and intuition are rumored to be exceptional in these cases." Rex's scales bristled slightly. "Humans? Really? Lyra, I don't think we need to resort to hiring one of them." But Lyra's expression was resolute. "I know a guy," she said, matter-of-factly. "He's done this kind of work before to get us out of a tricky situation near the Iron Moor Nebula. You remember that? His name's Eric. He's on a station not far from here, running freelance work. And trust me, thief, unconventional, but he gets the job done." Vrex leaned forward, contemplating. Humans were known to be unpredictable, but they had a strange knack for navigating the impossible. The stories of humans pulling off feats that bordered on the ridiculous were well known across the galaxy, especially in shady corners of space, where laws and physics both seemed like suggestions. Finally, Vrex sighed. "Fine, bring him aboard, but if this goes wrong, it's on you." A few hours later, a small, worn-down shuttle docked with the Zurich. Out stepped Eric Larson, a scruffy human wearing a patched-up jacket and a nonchalant expression. His short brown hair was slightly tousled, and he had a glint in his eyes that could only be described as mischievous. Eric gave a casual wave. "Heard you've got a bit of a rock problem." Vrex stood, towering over Eric by at least 2 heads. He eyed the human with clear skepticism. "You are the one Lyra recommended." Eric smirked. "I see my reputation precedes me. Yeah, I'm the guy. I've flown through worse. What's the job?" Lyra quickly briefed Eric on the asteroid field, showing him the massive display filled with jagged rocks and unpredictable debris. The field stretched on for several light minutes, and it looked like a nightmare to navigate. Eric studied the screen for a moment, then cracked his knuckles. "All right, I've seen worse." Vrex narrowed his eyes. "You seem confident. Too confident." Eric grinned. "Confidence? There, I just know what I'm doing. Let's get to work." In the cockpit, Eric took the helm. His fingers moved across the controls with a fluidity and familiarity that gave Lyra some comfort, though Vrex remained wary. The ship's engines rumbled as they approached the asteroid field. Massive chunks of rock drifted lazily, but in the distance, some asteroids spun wildly, crisscrossing paths that even the most advanced autopilot would struggle to predict. "All right, kids," Eric said, his tone light. "This is where it gets fun." He pushed the thrusters forward and steered the Zurich into the field. At first, the ship glided smoothly between the rocks, but soon the asteroids began moving faster, and the gaps between them narrowed. Vrex clenched the armrests of his seat. "We should reduce speed," he growled. "We're getting too close." Eric shook his head, a cocky smile on his face. "Nope, if we slow down, we lose momentum. Trust me." The ship dodged left, then right, narrowly avoiding collisions with several asteroids. Eric's hands moved swiftly over the controls, his eyes darting between the sensors in the viewport, calculating each move in real time. It was almost as if he could see the asteroids before they moved, predicting their paths with an uncanny precision. "How is he doing this?" Lyra whispered, her eyes wide. Vrex could only watch in stunned silence. At one point, a particularly large asteroid spun into their path, and for a split second, it seemed there was no way to avoid it. But Eric didn't flinch. He hit the thrusters, accelerating the ship just enough to slip beneath the asteroid with mere meters to spare. Rex's heart pounded in his chest. He was ready to order the emergency shields up, but somehow they weren't needed. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, The ship emerged from the other side of the asteroid field, unscathed. Eric leaned back in the pilot's seat, stretching his arms over his head. See, no problem. Rex blinked in disbelief, his scales slowly settling back into place. That was reckless. You could have destroyed us all. Eric shrugged. I had it under control. You've got to trust your gut in situations like that. Asteroids are tricky, sure, but they've got a rhythm if you know where to look. Rex stood, his expression unreadable. For a moment, he considered saying something reprimanding, but instead, he simply nodded. You got us through, human. I'll give you that. He turned to Lyra. It seems your GUI was the right choice. Eric grinned, hopping out of the pilot's chair. See, you'll learn to trust humans eventually. We've got a reputation for a reason. Lyra smirked at Eric, clearly relieved. Told you he's good. Rex grunted. Perhaps, but next time, let's avoid asteroid fields altogether. Eric chuckled. That's the spirit. But hey, if you ever find yourselves in another impossible situation, you know who to call. As Eric made his way back to his shuttle, Lyra couldn't help but feel a growing sense of pride. Humans, for all their quirks, had a way of making the impossible seem downright easy. And in the far reaches of space, knowing a guy like Eric was invaluable.